let's talk a little bit about your group project. I want to just give you a little bit of information about that so you're clear on some things, point some things out that you might not notice, and give you some little tips about the group project as well. Right now you can see this video in our group project folder, and you can also see the join a group link. And you can see the assignment and the quiz. I believe they're not hidden, but you won't be able to actually click on them and access them until July the 6th. So those two will open up on July the 6th. So first thing you need to do after you watch the video is go and join a group if you haven't done that already. You click on that link, and then you can select into one of the groups to join. And you can see what other members there are. For each group, we also have a discussion area so that you can communicate with your group members. Now again, if you choose to use an alternate way to do that, such as email or a GroupMe app or something like that, that's fine. But I've given you a discussion area that's for each group, so only the members of each group will have access to that respective discussion board. So you can use that. We also have lockers in here, which is kind of like shared folder access or shared drive storage within BlazeView. So each group has that as well. So if you'd like to use that to swap files back and forth, then you can do that as well. So again, if you haven't already, please click on Join a Group. Go get your group joined. You need to do that by July the 6th. If you don't do it by July the 6th, then you'll automatically be enrolled in a group at that time. Okay, and then on July the 6th, you can go ahead and access the group project assignment and the group project quiz, but you don't want to take the quiz until you've completed the group project. All right, so there are two things that we're going to be doing with this. The actual assignment, which is an Excel workbook, and then the group project quiz. Both of those are components of your overall grade for the group assignment, so please do both of those items. Okay, the majority of your grade comes from the actual assignment, but there is also a percentage of your grade that comes from the quiz, so make sure you're doing those two things. And the quiz is really not quizzing you on the content, but it's more assessing the overall assignment itself. Okay, some feedback about the assignment. One other item to note before I get into some specifics for you is we have a group firing policy with the group project. Okay, if you have a job, okay, and you don't do your job, or you show up late, or you come to work but you sleep on the job and do nothing, some things like that, you're probably not going to have that job for very long. All right, so this is a business course, and just like in business, if you do those things, you get fired. And here you can get fired as well. So if you are not contributing to the group, you're not pulling your weight, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then your group can fire you. Okay, so hopefully that won't happen. That very rarely happens with my group projects, but I have had it happen a few times. So please make sure that you are participating fully, you're equally contributing to the group project. This should not be something that one group member does and the rest of them does not do. You should all share equally with the work, because you will share with the grade. So make sure you're doing what you need to do. Go ahead and, again, get with those group members, talk to each other, know who you are, know what your responsibilities are, share the load. Okay? If you have somebody that's not doing that, then what you can do is submit to me a request for termination, which is the last item you see here. It's a PDF document that you would fill out. Somebody is not contributing, you can fill that out, submit it to me. All of your other group members will sign that. They'll give me the reason for why this person should be terminated, and if that's a justified reason, then they will be terminated, and they'll have to complete that project on their own. Okay, so that request for termination, the last date that you can turn that in is July the 23rd. But if you have someone that you need to do that with, then we have that option. Okay, now again, you're not going to be able to see this group project assignment until July the 6th. But once you get access to it, you won't kind of see all the stuff at the bottom. But your instructions there are telling you that basically what this group project is we're going to be keeping the books and being an accountant for a private accountant for a small business. So you've got an Excel workbook that you're going to be completing. I've given you a set of instructions for this. I've given you some supplemental information, and I've given you a full spreadsheet that you're going to fill out. So what you'll do is you're going to go through daily transactions to start out with. So you're going to enter those daily transactions for this company. And then you're going to do some other things, like you're going to do the payroll calculation and enter the payroll for the company. You're going to do a bank reconciliation for the company. You're going to make some adjusting entries, and then you're going to make up a set of financial statements at the end of the month. So there are several items that we're going to be doing. I'll go ahead and briefly kind of show you these instructions and make mention of a few things, perhaps. It's loading. It's slow. It's thinking about it. There we go. So again, you're going to be the accountant for an animal clinic, a local business. It is a sole proprietor, so that's a little bit different than what we've done thus far. We've kind of looked more corporate. So this is a sole proprietor. You've got a lot of different transactions that went on through the month. You're going to record all of those. Then step 2, you're going to go through and do the payroll for that. We talk a little bit about payroll as we go through, and that's again why this is not going to be released all at once, because we don't learn all of these things to begin with. Okay, then we're going to do a bank reconciliation. We're going to do a trial balance. We've got to make a few adjusting entries. Then we can complete the trial balance, do our financial statements, and then again at the end, we want to make sure we're checking for errors. Okay, so again, this is not something that you have access to begin with, but you will eventually. Then there's some supplemental information that we're going to give you. Let's see. That did not open. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Okay. The supplemental information are things that you're going to need to complete this. So you're going to have your bank statement to be able to do your bank reconciliation, for instance. You're going to have your check register from the prior, or your bank reconciliation for the prior month. I'm waiting. Excel is slowly opening up so I can show you what this is. But there's just some supplemental information that you need in addition to that instruction sheet. And then this spreadsheet, here we go. Let me move this over for you so you can look at it. So we've given you a chart of accounts here with balances, which are the April 30th balances. Your prior bank reconciliation that we did for the end of April. And I've given you just a list of May deposits and checks, and this bank statement that came from the bank for May. So you'll need all of that to do some things for your project. Then also your spreadsheet. This is the actual item that you will complete and turn back into me for your graded assignment. All right, so we've got general journal. Again, this is blank because this is what you're going to fill in. Your general ledger with your accounts. Now, sometimes like cash, for instance, you're probably going to need more lines than this. So just go in and add, lines. Go and insert as needed to make more lines. That'll let you insert it. Might not. Oh, I need to fix that on the spreadsheet. It might be locked. Oh, here we go. It's because I can't read. All right. Now, there we go. Now you can insert. So again, this doesn't mean these are the only number of lines you might need. This is just your shell to start with. All right. We are going to do a few subsidiary ledgers. We mentioned these in our text as we go through. So we're going to look at an accounts receivable subsidiary ledger and an accounts payable subsidiary ledger. Remember, subsidiary ledgers, again, if you're looking at this on the first day of class, it's not going to make much sense, but if you've gone through some material, subsidiary ledgers are supporting documentation for a specific account that we have on our chart of accounts or in our general ledger. So, for example, accounts receivable subsidiary ledger is supporting or giving more details to this account of accounts receivable. So it's going to list every customer we have and their activity and balances. And if I total up all of those, it should equal the balance, the ending balance of this account. We have the same thing for accounts payable. So instead of knowing that we have a total accounts payable of $50,000, for instance, this would list every vendor or person that I owe and what their transactions are and what their ending balance is. Those individual ending balances should add up to equal the ending balance in accounts payable from the general ledger. So we have two subsidiary ledgers that we're going to also look at. The revenue journal, that should not be there anymore. I took these out. These are special journals, which I'm not going to really have you do. I'll update that before I, and re-release this. But the subsidiary ledgers are the only, I guess you can say, extra ledgers that you'll need to worry with. Okay, well, it's just fun, hot mess here. Okay, here we go. So the next one that you'll see in your spreadsheet that you'll get will be the payroll register. All right, so You're going to run the payroll. You'll update the payroll register for your individuals and your earnings report. So the payroll register is for each pay period. So it lists each person you're paying and the details of the payroll. The earnings record is for each person. So this is a record for this employee, and it gives the details of the paychecks and the periods for each employee. Okay, so we'll update those when we do the payroll as well. Then you're going to fill in, you're going to do a bank rec for May. You're going to do a trial balance worksheet and fill that in. You're going to do an income statement, and I'm giving you a bit of a shell to kind of, at least so you don't feel like you don't have anything there. We're doing a sole proprietorship, so the difference here is, again, when we talked about equity as far as A equals L plus E, this is the equity component. Instead of having retained earnings, we have owner's equity. And instead of having dividends, we have withdrawals. So they operate in the same manner, just a different name because it's a different business entity type, okay? So this capital account is like your retained earnings account, okay? And then we're also going to have a balance sheet. So once those things are filled in and complete, you're going to submit that back on this assignment, which again on your side will have a place for you to submit a file. We only need one file per group, but each person needs to complete this quiz when you get done with your group assignment. Okay? So again, that's just a brief to just kind of introduce you to the group project, what's it like, what's it got going on, and a few little things that you might want to look for that you might not be aware of. Okay? All right. Get working.